And my zipper won't zip, so ignore that I've broken the zipper.
Representing the plaintiff, Preston Hale, Esquire, Rowan Gatch, Esquire. Representing the defendant, Ella Strohmeyer, Esquire, Jonathan Herrera, Esquire.
Thank you. You may be seated. Welcome today to Grandparents' Day 2015. You have been brought here to be the jury of a civil trial between our plaintiff, Marty Preston, and our defendant, Judd Travers, who the rightful owner of the dog Shiloh is. First I have to voir dire you. What does that mean? Voir dire. Ask questions. Very good. We just learned that the other day.
French word.
It is French word. Okay. So raise your hand if yes is the answer to any of these questions. Do you own a dog? Okay, thank you. Put your hand down. Have you ever read the book Shiloh? Okay.
Oh, what?
You know your grandkids promised to read it to you.
What?
They did.
What? We did? What?
Trust me, it's in the contract.
Order in the court. Order in the court.
Or not, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Good thinking, good thinking. Okay. And raise your hand if you hunt. Okay, thank you. And raise your hand if you are opposed to hunting. Okay, thank you. If you'd answered yes to any of these questions, I have to remind you that none of that can play a part in this trial today. You must base your decision solely on the facts of the case and nothing else. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. If you're sitting in the grandparents' jury or on the outflow, you are the jurors today. Do I have a volunteer to be the foreperson?
I am.
Yay! What a great surprise! We have a volunteer! See, it was planned. We worked on that. See how he volunteered so quickly? One year I didn't plan it, and the grandparents just, you could hear crickets. Chirp, chirp. I'm like, oh man, I gotta do that better. Right? Okay, so, plaintiffs, do you have an opening statement?
We do, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, good morning. You will hear testimony today about who is the rightful owner of the dog Shiloh. You'll find the owner is our client, Marty Preston. Thank you.
Do you have an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Good morning, Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. As you will clearly see by the evidence presented, the true owner of the dog is our client, Judge Travers. Thank you.
Thank you. Plaintiffs, please call your first witness.
Your Honor, we call Mr. Preston to the stand. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly promise and declare, under penalties of perjury, responses given and statements made will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Ray Preston.
You may be seated.
Good morning, Mr. Preston.
Good morning. How are you related to Marty Preston?
He's my son.
Have you ever seen Judge Travers hurt the dog?
Yes. The first time Marty found Shiloh, we brought him back. The dog got out of the Jeep and Judd kicked him.
Has he ever threatened the dog?
Yes, that same night, he said, if he runs off again, I'll kick the daylights out of him.
Thank you. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may be seated. I mean, ask your questions. Hey, Colin, can you get up for a second and pull that this way? I'm never going to be able to reach the tissues over. You're good. It's a prop for later. Do you have questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Preston.
Good morning.
The first time you saw the dog, did you know who the owner was?
Yes, I knew he was Judd's.
What did you do with the dog?
I brought him back to his owner.
Thank you. That is all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Preston. You may be seated. Please call your next witness.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly promise and declare, under penalties of perjury, responses given and statements made will be the truth and nothing but the truth? Yes. Please state your name for the record.
Lou Preston.
You may be seated.
Good morning, Miss Preston.
Good morning.
How do you know Marty?
Marty is my son.
Have you ever seen Judd with Shiloh?
Yes, at my house.
What did Judd say?
He said he would kick him all the way to China.
How did Shiloh act?
Shiloh put his tail between his legs and started to shake when Judd kicked him.
Thank you. That's all you know.
Thank you. Questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Preston. Good morning.
Have you ever seen Judge Travers hurt the dog, Shiloh?
No.
How did you find out Marty had Shiloh?
I found Shiloh had Marty's secret. I lied to my husband.
You may be seated, Miss Preston.
That's right, Your Honor.
Please call your next witness.
Your Honor, we call Darlin Preston to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly promise to declare, under penalties of perjury, responses given and statements made will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Darlin Preston.
You may be seated.
Good morning, Darlin.
Morning.
How old are you?
I'm 7 years old.
Have you ever seen Judd and Shiloh together?
Yes.
What happened?
Shiloh backed up into a corner when Judd walked up to him. Shiloh looked scared.
Thank you. No further questions, Your
Thank
Honor.
you. Questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Good morning.
Morning.
Has your brother ever been dishonest with you?
Yes.
What happened?
He took my chocolate bunny, bit off the ear, and lied to Mom and me about doing it.
Thank you. That is all, Your Honor.
Please call your next witness. It's you.
Your Honor, we come to you and Howard to stand. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly promise and declare, under penalties of perjury, responses given and statements made will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
David Howard.
You may be seated.
Good morning.
Morning.
Do you know Judge Travers?
Yes, he lives in my town.
Do you know Marty Preston?
Yes, he's the best friend I ever had.
Is he an honest person?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Good morning, David.
Morning.
Did Marty ever talk to you about Shiloh going away?
Yes.
Where did he want Shiloh to go?
He wanted my relatives in Ohio to keep Shiloh with them.
Did you know about Marty taking the dog to his house?
Yes, after the dog was hurt, Marty told me.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may be seated. Please call your next witness.
Your Honor, we call Mr. Howard to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly promise and declare, under penalties of perjury, responses given and statements made will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Matthew Howard.
You may be seated.
Good morning, Mr. Howard. Do you know the plaintiff?
Yes, he was in front of my son.
Has Marty ever helped you with anything?
Yes, he was taking care of our cat while we were on vacation.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
How do you do today, Mr. Howard? Did you have any knowledge that Marty was hiding the dog at his house?
Yes, Miss.
Has Marty ever been dishonest with you?
No, he was fine.
Thank you. That is all, Your Honor.
Thank you. We're going to take a brief recess to answer the door. Come in! Session. Questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
No, that's you.
Wait, no.
We just did? We are going to take a brief recess to go to music. If you want to take off jackets and you leave your purses and everything, the kids won't touch it.
Please state your name for the record.
Doc Murphy.
You may be seated.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you know Marty Preston?
Yes.
How do you know him?
Ever since he was a little boy, he would bring me the newspaper every morning. I would never ask him to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Good morning, Doc Murphy.
Morning.
What kind of doctor are you?
A family doctor.
Have you ever seen the dog Shiloh?
Yes.
When?
Ray and Marty Preston brought him to me late one night. He had been attacked by the baker's dog.
Thank you. No further questions, Your
Thank you, Doc Murphy. You may be seated. Plaintiffs, call your next witness.
Your Honor, we call Mr. Jackson.
How about Mr. Marty Preston?
Your Honor, we call Marty Preston to the stand.
Okay.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly promise and declare, under penalties of perjury, responses given and statements made will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Marty Preston.
You may be seated.
Good morning, Marty. When was the first time you saw the dog?
About a month and a half ago by Old Shiloh School. new house.
How did he act when he saw you?
He tried to follow me.
What did you do with the dog?
Brought him.
Did anything happen when you and your dad drove the dog to Judd's house?
Shiloh was shaking in my lap trying to get closer to me.
Did you talk to Judd about the dog?
Yes, I asked him not to kick him again.
When did you see the dog again?
He came to my house a few days later.
What did you do?
I kept him.
Did you have an agreement with Judd to keep the dog?
Yes, we wrote on a piece of paper that I would get Shiloh after 2 weeks of work for Judd 2 hours a day for 10 days.
Your Honor, I would like to enter this document into evidence.
Proceed.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 1 accepted into evidence.
Did you complete the 20 hours of work?
Yes,
Did Judd ever give you anything for the dog? What was it?
new dog.
Your Honor, I would like to enter this dog collar into the evidence.
Plaintiff's Exhibit number 2 accepted into evidence.
Thank you, that's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Good morning, Marty. The first time you brought Shiloh back to Judd's, did you make a promise?
Yes, I said if I ever saw him again, I would bring him back.
Did you find the dog again?
Yes.
Did you ever bring him back?
No, I kept him and built a fence.
Was he your dog?
No,
Why did you hide him from everyone?
because I didn't want Judd to beat him.
Did you take him to Doc Murphy's?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Baker's dog attacked him.
How did Baker's dog get to Shiloh?
Jumped over the pen. I didn't build it high enough.
Did you make an agreement with Judge Travers?
Yes. We wrote on a piece of paper that I would get Shiloh after finishing 2 weeks of work for June.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Preston. You may be seated. Plaintiffs, call your next witness.
Plaintiffs may rest.
Plaintiffs rest.
Plaintiffs rest.
Defense, please call your first witness.
We'd like to call Mr. Wallace to stand.
Bless you.
Wallace.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly promise and declare, under penalties of the jury responses given in statements made, will leave the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Emily Wallace.
You may be seated.
Good morning, Miss Wallace.
Good morning.
Do you know Judge Travers?
Yes, he always comes into my store.
Do you know Marty Preston?
Yes.
Is Marty Preston the ideal?
Yes, he said his family had fallen on hard times, so I gave him cheese and meat.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Questions for this witness?
Yes. Good morning, Miss Wallace.
Good morning.
Do you like Marty Preston?
Yes, he is a fine boy.
Has Marty ever shown you courage?
Yes, he came to me for a job so he could buy the dog from Judd.
Thank you. That's all you want.
Thank you, Mrs. Wallace. You may be seated. Defense, next witness?
Your Honor, we call Mr. Jackson to the stand.
Please stay. Over here, Jackson.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly promise and declare, under penalties of perjury responses given in statements made, to be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Scott Jackson.
You may be seated.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson.
Good morning.
How do you know Judge Travers?
I work with him.
What kind of relationship do you have?
He's like a brother to me. Most times man of romance.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson.
Good morning.
Have you ever been hunting with Judge Travers?
Yes, all the time.
Has he ever done anything to his dogs while you were hunting together?
No, he has never mistreated his dogs.
Thank you. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may be seated. Defense, please call your next witness.
We'd like to call Miss Baker to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly promise and declare, under penalties of perjury responses given in statements made, to be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Alexis Baker.
You may be seated.
Good morning, Miss Baker.
Good morning.
How do you know Marty Preston?
I used to be his babysitter.
Is he truthful with you?
No, I noticed some things missing. I suspected him.
Do you own a dog?
Yes, a German Shepherd.
Thank you. That is all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Questions for this witness?
Yes. Good morning, Miss Baker.
Good morning.
Did you ever prove Marty stole from
Man.
you?
Oh, well, no, but...
Thanks, no more questions, Your Honor.
But I know it was him!
Objection, witness was not answering the questions directly.
Mrs. Baker, you can only answer the questions given to you. You may be seated. Please call your next witness.
Your Honor, we'd like to call Mr. Johnson to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly promise and declare, under penalties of perjury responses given statements made, will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Errol Johnson.
You may be seated.
Good morning, Mr. Johnson.
Good morning.
How do you know Joe Travers?
We go hunting together.
Have you ever seen him mistreat his dogs?
No, he is nice to them.
Thank you. That is all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Johnson.
Good morning.
Does Jed ever talk about what he feeds his dogs?
Sure, if they don't do what they're supposed to do, he don't feed them.
Do you know Marty Preston?
No.
Thank you. No more questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may be seated. Defense, call your next witness.
Your Honor, we call Ashley Travers to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly promise and declare, under penalties of perjury responses given in statements made, will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Ashley
You
Travers.
may be seated.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you related to Joe Travers?
I'm his sister.
Did you have any pets growing up?
Yes, we had our own pets.
How did Joe treat you growing up?
Fine.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Good morning, Miss Travers.
Good morning.
Has Jed ever been dishonest with you?
Once,
What happened?
my goldfish disappeared and he said he didn't know what happened, but later on he said he flushed it.
When was the last time you saw your brother?
About 10 years ago.
Thank you. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Travers. You may be seated. Defense, please call your next witness.
Defense rests, Your Honor.
How about Judge Travers? Okay.
We'd like to call Judge Travers to the stand. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly promise and declare, under penalties of perjury responses given in statements made, will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Judge Travers.
You may be seated.
Good morning, Mr. Travers.
Good morning.
Who owns the dog Shiloh?
I do.
How much did you pay for him?
$35.
Did you get a receipt?
I signed it. Yes.
Your Honor, I would like to enter this receipt into evidence.
Defense Exhibit 1 accepted into evidence.
Did you ever sign an agreement with Marty Preston?
I signed a contract, but I didn't know what it was for.
Thank you. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Questions for this witness?
Yeah. Yes. Good morning, Mr. Travers.
Morning.
Did you give Marty a dog collar?
Yes.
Why?
Because it was old and I thought I'd just give the collar to him instead of the dog.
What did you sign an agreement with Marty? Or did you sign an agreement with Marty Preston?
Yes.
What did it say?
I don't remember.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you. You may be seated. Defense, please call your next witness.
Defense rests, Your Honor.
Thank you. Plaintiffs, would you like to recall any witnesses?
Your Honor, we recall Marty Preston to the stand.
Mr. Preston, I have to remind you that you are still under oath.
Did you do any work for Judge Travers?
Yes, I did.
What kind of work did you do?
I hoed the garden, cleaned weeds, and chopped and stacked wood.
Did anyone know that you did the work?
Yes, my dad and mom.
Thank you. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you want to ask this witness any more questions? Thank you. You may be seated. Would you like to recall any more witnesses?
Yes. I'm calling Mr. Preston.
Mr. Preston, I have to warn you, you're still under oath.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Did Marty complete the work for Judd?
Yes.
Did you see him work?
No.
How do you know he completed the work?
Because for 2 weeks, Marty left at 7 a.m. and returned at 5 a.m. p.m.
I think you have your times wrong. Just before 3 and just after 5. It's okay. Tell him what he did. Smelling like what?
Smelling and looking like he worked all day. Thank you. No further questions.
You want to ask this witness any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may be seated. Plaintiffs, do you want to recall any other witnesses?
Your Honor, we recall Judge to the stand.
Mr. Travers, I have to remind you, you are still under oath.
Yes, Your Honor. Did Marty complete the 2 weeks of work for you?
No,
Are you positive he didn't complete the work for you?
I don't remember.
Did Marty stack wood and cut weeds at your house?
Yes.
Thank you. No more questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you have any questions for this witness? No? Mr. Travers, you may be seated. Plaintiffs, do you have any other witnesses to recall?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Defense, do you have any witnesses to recall?
No, Your Honor.
No. Okay. Okay, closing statements for the plaintiffs.
As you can see by the evidence, our client Marty Preston is the rightful owner of Shiloh. Thank you.
Closing statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Teachers, please excuse this interruption.
Hold on 1 second, bud.
Lower school teachers, we
The evidence clearly shows this. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do not envy you this decision. It will be difficult for you to go through all of the evidence, but we feel that leaving it in your hands is the best decision to make. So we are going to step out into the hallway and let you deliberate. Mr. Foreperson,
Don't yell at each other.
I am leaving the bailiff with you and paper and pens if you have any questions. And you can just knock on the door and the bailiff will come, also known as our court clerk. Okay, you ready? You're gonna give that to Jordan's grandpa on the way out, okay? Yes, you can get a Band-Aid.
Don't matter what you have. Don't know what the facts are. Power in the hands of few. One more, Betsy. There you go. Forget about the evidence.
I didn't know. I didn't even notice it. I was looking at
But I'm a troublemaker.
So what's the evidence look like over there?
Here's the evidence. Then I guess you're supposed to take a.
I don't know, the dog's missing. Oh my God.
Oh, we didn't write? Oh,
We took a vote.
Okay. Took a vote?
Yeah. So if we get a majority, then whatever we vote for, that's cool.
So
Carries.
Wait a minute, what year is it first? Is it today or is it like 20 years ago?
You don't want to give me a pen and a vote.
So there is.
I abstain.
You stayed, okay.
There is a note, Shiloh hunting dog to Marty Preston for 20 hours of work, and it's signed by Judge Travers. So, and Marty Preston also had the collar. But there is the original sale of the dog. Well, I guess that's Judge Travers, if there's a receipt that's signed. The judge paid $35 for the dog.
She had it originally.
Here is the contract that Judge signed when he gave Marty the dog for 20 hours of work.
Oh, it belongs to Marty.
But there's no proof of him actually doing the work, although things have been done on a property.
Yeah,
Right.
except Mr. Travers said, yes, he did those things. I mean, he said, did he chop the wood?
But the other stuff,
Right,
he
but-
kept saying he didn't remember.
Right, the 20 hours was the deal, so
Right.
there's no documentation of the 20 hours, although the work was performed of some type on a property, so.
So,
Who says Marty Preston?
who votes for Marty Preston to get the dog?
That's the boy.
That's the boy?
The boy.
The boy.
That makes the difference.
All right, so who's counting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. 14, and who wants Judd to keep the dog?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I can't vote against my own. I just don't have it. I just remember.
The jury has reached a decision.
Are you?
Yes. Marty Preston.
I have to go home tonight.
You want dinner tonight, right?
Wait.
We have a verdict.
Oh, you gotta love life.
Y'all eating cookies without us?
Jury right there, what is the favorite?
I saw you drinking that.
That's the truth. Doesn't matter what the facts are. What do you want? That was truth in action.
Thank you. You may be seated. You can always overrule the Grandparents' Day judge. Overruled, no problem. Mr. Foreperson, do you have a verdict?
Yes.
What say you?
The jury saith that Marty keep the dog.
Thank you, grandparents. Did you guys all do this? I can just hear a collective sigh. So what'd you think? That was it. Yay, kids!